Okay, today I'm gonna try to install this radio remote control on the steering wheel. I bought this online for like 120 bucks. I forgot where I got it from, the website, but I'll post it up. Fact. There it is right there. CourtesyParts.com. So I did some homework. I pulled this from the NissanClub.com, a forum on how to do it. This is how to hook up the wires from the steering column to the back of the radio. Here's the harness they advised me to buy. Here's the harness here. It said take out some of these things from inside of there. So what I did was I used this thumb tack, stuck it in, you see the flat part, stick it in the flat part all the way and pull on the wire and it'll pop right off. This is the extra wire I'm going to use, and here's the stock radio. I got an aftermarket, but I'm going to put the stock radio just to make sure that these controls actually working, because sometimes you need like a extra part to have your aftermarket radio work with the steering wheel. So I'm going to just test it. I'm going to hook this up and make sure this is working to see if it will confirm that I will need that part or not. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I did was cut the car on so you can move the steering wheel. Then right there's a screw. Take out with a Phillips, I already did. It looks like this. But on this side, the screw appears to be a different kind, so I'm going to take that out. And then there's also screws right here for the airbag. Well, these are like nut drivers, one on this side, one on the other side. But before you take those out, just take these out and then disconnect your battery, and then take these out, the ones on the steering wheel, the airbag. You can see this looks like a totally different screw, but make a note. Alright, now I'm going to cut the car off, disconnect the battery. This is a 2009 Nissan Altima. As you can see, it only has the cruise control. Disconnected the battery. Now the instruction says disconnect the positive and the negative. So I disconnected it. Just got a rag sitting on top of the terminal so it don't touch nothing. And then it says wait 3 to 5 minutes before you go messing with the airbags, because you don't want it to explode in your face. Alright. I pulled up the instructions on how to remove the airbag and the steering control switch. Again, it's on that website, Nissan Club. Anyway, you can see, said make sure the terminals are off. Give you a second to read that. Basically, this is the plug for the airbag itself. So what you're gonna do is disconnect these. These are the screws that's on the side of the steering wheel. Got a little cap, plastic cap. You just pop those off with a flathead screwdriver. Pull the 2 screws out, and then you're gonna disconnect these wires. And then you can pull this out a little bit more. Then you can pull the wire off of this, and then the whole thing comes off. And then there should be some screws behind that. Here it is right here, to unhook the control switch from the airbag. mounting the airbag. This is another step that is very important. It says when you put these wires back, don't put them like that over the middle. Route them in this manner. Let y'all put this here for a second so y'all can read it. Pause it and read it. Spiral cable, I don't know what that. I didn't get that far yet. You probably don't have to do none of this. But just in case, give you a second to pause it. Zoom in or do whatever. Capture the screen. And I believe that was it. So past 5 minutes, I'm going to try to remove the airbag. Remove this one. This is a number 10. Looks like metric. And this is the nut here. Again, the instruction says don't work right over the steering wheel because the airbag might go off and you don't want it going off in your face. So just work on both sides of the steering wheel. Okay, I pull a screw out and this thing just pulled right straight on out. So let's see what's going on back here. Okay, there's the control switch. One plug right there. And then these are the, looks like there's two for the airbag. And then they go to 4 nuts for this holds the control switch together. Okay, take note how this is routed. Back there, it'll be like that. Alright, I'm gonna start disconnecting now. Looks like there's a piece right there. You push down and pull it out. So here's the back of it. It looks like it's these screws right here. So I think I'm gonna just take that off while even disconnecting the airbag. See how that worked out for me. Looks like there was 2 tabs right there and then that sits right here, right there. So you just stick your screw in there, gently pry it up. Careful not to break these plastic tabs here. Then you just slide it out towards you. It also look like there's some wire tie down, metal tie downs for that wire. Probably have to pry it up some, pull the wire out. Okay, took the other side off, and this is just like a fake, just a plate. Again, you pull the 2 tabs out right here. I already got the other side on, but there's a little tab right here and over here. You can see that one better. So just put your thing here, screw flat, little flat head, and pull up, pry it up on it, and pull this way. As you're doing it gently, it'll pop right off. And then here is a groove. Looks like for the wire to run through. And the same was on this side. That's how I peeped it. Wire get fed in here. Again, I have to pry these up a little bit. I'm just pushing back down after I run my wire. Hook up the ground back up to here and put everything back. So I put my screws back in right there on the control switches, plugged everything up. Plug the harness back up. This one had more wires in here. My car's not pre-wired for it, so that's where I'm gonna have to open the steering column. I'll go through that too as well. Anyway, just make sure this wire here, make sure that stays out the way of the center of that airbag when you're putting it back. Make sure these holes line up when you put it back, because it'll strip real easy. So that's pretty much it for that part. Alright, so I put it back in, screwed everything, and that's what it pretty much looked like now. Should hook up the factory radio and just check it, just confirm that I'm not pre-wired before I go messing with everything. So I think I'll do that next. So I hooked up trying to hook the battery back up just for shits and giggles, and the stock radio did not work with the steering wheel, so I took it apart. Here's the main wire harness, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but on the top right, you see there's 3 wires and there's an open space. You're gonna hook up a wire to that, one right under it, and then the one on the right to sort of the 4 empty slots on the bottom. You're gonna hook up the 2 wires all the way to the left. So it'll be, I'm trying to do this without. Let's see here. Alright, so you'll hook it up to 1, 2, and then the one on top right there. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. That's what I got right here on the harness, the main harness. And this is the way you're gonna run it. And this harness here should be in there. I already took the top off, and right here you can kind of pry it up a little bit after you take the 2 screws out. Pry it up a little bit, but at the same time put pressure on this bottom panel inward, and it'll pop right off. Same with the other side. I think there's another screw down here right there, Philip. Take that out, and then you can pull the bottom panel out, and we see what we got. Okay, now for this harness, let me get a light. Alright, this is what the harness looks like in here, and this run right there, if you look at it like this, regular, that picture is actually turned upside down. So it'll be the 2 top ones and the one under it. So that means you gotta add a wire to this one, 1, 2, and the one right under it. And then that's what these come in handy. Come in, the ones you pull out of here. You take these, and I'm assuming you can just pop those right in place. And then you have your wire. Then you have to connect the longer wire. And the same thing with this. You have to add wire to the main harness there. And then you connect it. And I'll see how that works out for me. I'll put the first one in, the blue one. It went in pretty smooth. If you could look on these wires though, it has a little tab on it that helps lock the wire into place in the wire harness. Let me see another one here. Anyway, you see it's like a little piece right there that, you see how it looks almost like a niche, or I'm not sure how to describe that, but you see that? Pull it out some. Yeah, I pulled it out some, but you see that right there? You want that piece right there that's sticking out facing the top holes, because the top holes is where you stick your pin in to remove the wire. So when you put it in like this, the top part will be facing up, and you just slide it in place and you'll hit snap in place. Then you try to pull it out, you can't. And you're gonna do that for the other wire as well, for the other harness. Alright, for the main harness, it was a little bit trickier because you can see this thing up top right there. That part right there. It sucks. Anyway, try to. And you see that little hole right there in the middle? You stick a little flathead screwdriver in there, and you pry it up, and then that will lift this top part up, and that would allow you to pull out or pull in any extra wires. So while it's up, then you put your extra wires in there, and then you just click it back down when you're done. Alright, so I got my 3 wires run through there, through here. I got a tape on one of the red ones so I can identify it from the other one. Then right here, I started soldering one. As you can see, I soldered it already. And I put my heat shrink tube right there. So now all I gotta do is slip it over it. And then hit it with this. Shrink it up. Yeah. Professional. Now I'll proceed with the other 5 other wires and then make my connections and test it on the factory radio. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I hooked my wires up, heat shrunk them, soldered them together, heat shrunk them, and I tried with the Pioneer radio, and it didn't work. So I hooked up the old radio just to see if it'll work, and this is what I'm getting. I'll push in, I guess, this one. Now for the source, volume down, volume up. looks like that's reversed. I'm pressing the down one. It's going up. I'll probably have to switch a wire in there. But I don't think I'm gonna go through all of that. Like I said, so now we know it's working. So now I need the other part. I'm not sure the name of it. Steering wheel control module, perhaps. And then I'll have to hook that up to the aftermarket radio. At least now I know it's working. Alright. Hope this helped y'all. Bye.